So for all my watchers, I'm recording. It's lovely to have you all back me up when I forget to do that occasionally. So my name is Sharon Whiteman, and it's my great pleasure and privilege to be here every Saturday with the Australasian region. I work with Anna Hunter and Gary Knapp, and we've been doing this for some 17 years. And selfishly so, we're so blessed by being here with you, and we're very dedicated to Manatech in our region, Australasia, and the globe. It's a labor of love, really. So today we have the great privilege of having Ray Robbins, 3-star platinum presidential. For those of you that are new to our company, that means he's helped a lot of people. He's an author, he's known as the Road Warrior, and he's traveled worldwide to support, train, and inspire all he meets while ethically championing the Manatech brand. He's from Flower Mound, Texas, and had 30 plus years of experience in the sales profession. He has a Bachelor of Science in Biology and Chemistry and served in the military flying helicopters in Vietnam, where he earned the rank of Major. Ray is an active member in his local community, receiving the Chamber of Commerce Entrepreneur of the Year Award, and he has a real heart for children, especially our Mission 5 Million program. The North American Giving Spirit Award is named in his honor, which really deeply says it all. Ray co-published the book Get a Grip with his son Kevin, which outlines everything you need to know and also why you should create a residual income in your lifetime. Not only has his and his family's lives been blessed by this business, he's been a witness to countless thousands of changed lives. As the founder of Manatech and the former member of Manatech's board of directors, Ray is indeed positioned to be of the highest support to associates. He carries the heart of Manatech on his sleeve, and he's passionate to help the whole worldwide associate base. So Ray, thank you so very much for being here today. We're deeply appreciative.
Sharon, it is my pleasure. I have never, ever told you no. For 17 years. Every time I get on, I commend you immensely for having the longest running, most consistently running call on Saturday mornings. And as soon as Zoom was invented, you went straight to Zoom. I remember the first time you asked me to be on a Zoom call, that I told you I didn't know how to do that. And
I remember that too.
A link so I could just push the Zoom. So you are amazing, and I appreciate immensely what you're doing. I was talking to Kevin a couple of days ago about you, and he said to make sure that you knew that he appreciates you immensely also. And he wants to be invited again soon as well.
We might have to have a Robbins series.
He would never tell you no. While I'm thinking about it, I've got several other people that I want to recommend that you invite soon. These are people that during April went to Team 6 or higher. It's Karen Dennis, Beverly Walker, and David and Gloria Lowe. And I'm going to be talking about the team program. And I think it'd be great for you to put together a program where those people gave you some of their ideas on how they get people to be customers.
Fantastic. I'll tell them, and I'll dub them in, and then they won't be able to say no, will they?
Exactly.
So Ray, let's start from the beginning. Tell us this, it's always good. It's like a fireside story to learn about how you came to Manatech and how it all began. I know you're a founder of our company. What happened at that time?
Well, at the time, I was extremely busy. I was the president of our local school board, 27,000 students. I was very involved in all the community activities that had anything to do with kids. I've always been very interested in helping kids. I started an organization that counsels abusive parents for abused kids, and I was very involved with that. And I was running a publicly traded company. I was running a couple of private companies, and I found out about how I could improve my own personal health. And I found it difficult to believe because I'd done quite a bit of research on my particular health. I did have a degree in biology and chemistry, and I was told about something I'd never heard of before that could make a difference. And I put it off, and I gave the people that were telling me about it a difficult time. And fortunately, they stuck with my arrogance my obstinance. And that's the reason why I tell all people out there that are trying to get people interested in these products, do not expect people to just automatically agree with what you have. If you really care about them, you need to make sure that you stick with them. I was very difficult to get involved. And now I've been involved for 26 plus years, and I've loved every minute of it. It's been the most important thing I've ever done, the most exciting thing I've ever done, the most valuable thing, changing other people's lives. I love being in something that allows me to not just change my own life, but change many, many other people's lives. And I get emotional when I hear about somebody new that is supporting their family and wasn't able to do it before, or they've been able to handle a health challenge that they couldn't before. And that's what happened to me. I got excited enough about the product. I read enough about the initial products with Manatech that I called my doctor. It was a good friend of mine, and he'd been dealing with me for a while. I was still a helicopter pilot in the National Guard at the time. I'd been active for a long time. So I got class 1 physicals every year. That's a very extensive physical. And I had already known for 4 or 5 years that my health was declining in a couple of areas, and we were trying to make some differences. And I told him what I had learned, and he said, well, there might be something to it. And I said, you're not at all skeptical. I was pretty skeptical. And he said, well, I have seen a little bit of information that tells me that there are some things in the natural world that are not in my world. They're not in the allopathic community, but I certainly don't poo-poo them because I've seen people have results. He said, I think you ought to check it out. And I said, well, they want me to get a full physical that's out of schedule and get another physical in a couple of months and see if I can see any tangible differences. And he said, well, that's a great idea. So I went in and got a full physical. And then for 2 months, I'm constantly doing research. I contacted somebody that got his bachelor's with me in biology and chemistry, but was teaching in that field in Houston. And he started sending me a bunch of research stuff. And so I got excited, but I couldn't tell any differences. I couldn't tell that my energy was any better, and it said that I would. I couldn't tell that my attitude was any better. It was just as bad as it had always been. I couldn't tell that my tiredness from a long day was any different. I couldn't tell any kind of differences in a couple of places that were sore. You know, there were all kinds of things that I was supposed to have recognized that I didn't see. So when the physical came due 2 months later, I decided not to take it. And my doctor called and said, hey, I heard you canceled your second physical. I was interested in seeing the results of your second physical. And I said, well, I can't tell any differences. I don't want to spend that kind of money on an out of schedule physical if there's no differences. Maybe I'll wait another month and see. And he said, you know, it's possible that you've had some differences that you don't feel. I said, well, explain that to me. And he said, well, what's your carrot feeling? And I said, what do you mean, what's my carrot feeling? And so, well, you know that carrots are great for your health, your overall health and nutrition. And I said, yeah. And he said, so when you eat a carrot for a couple of months, what do you feel? I said, I don't feel anything. And he said, so tell me what your broccoli feeling is all about. I don't have a broccoli feeling. And he said, you might not feel anything. This stuff might not give you a feeling, or maybe it'll be a long term before you do that. But I can tell by your blood chemistry if there's any differences. So I want you to take that physical. And I did. And he calls so excited. He said, and I've never seen anybody's blood chemistry change so favorably in just 2 months by just consuming a nutrition. This is pretty amazing. So I had to call some people that I'd been talking to and given a hard time to and eat a little bit of crow and tell them that I would take another physical in 2 more months. And I would get on board with them if the second physical was as positive as the first one. And in essence, that's what happened. And I went back to, because I had all these class 1 physicals, I had been taking class 1 physicals at that time for 16 years, every year. And they were all on record. So I could see how, as I got older, my blood chemistry went to the bad end, and then I could see where because of this product, it improved. And that was really the first sales aid for Manatech. The first sales aid was my physicals until we found out that you couldn't use the physical for just one person to represent something. So we stopped doing it. By the time we did that, though, there were at least 3,000 people that had copies of my physical. And every once in a while, I still run into somebody that will come up and say, hey, I still have a copy of all of your physicals for many, many years. And it shows how, it was tangible for me. And so then for a couple of years, I told people we didn't have any kind of guarantee like we've got now. We've got a guarantee where you can get funds back if the product haven't done anything for you in a certain amount of time. And back then we didn't have that. So what I told people was, if you'll take my products for 3 months, and if you'll pay for 2 physicals, if those physicals do not have improvement, I will pay you back all the money you paid for those products for 3 months. So I did one personally, and I never had to pay anybody back. And I had many, many people did take physicals with the intentions of having me pay for the money back, because many of them did the same thing that I did. At the end of 3 months, they'd say, well, I can't tell any differences at all. I said, well, remember, you took a physical at the beginning, you can get all your money back. You'll go take another physical, and I'll give you all the money for the physicals, and I'll give you all the money for the product that you bought. And I had a number of them that did do that. And of course, we found out I couldn't do that either. That was another sales technique that I wasn't allowed. And then I started finding out there's a lot of sales techniques that you're not allowed to have. And people that are in my business of all natural products can be of great benefit to people, but we have to be very conservative in our ways that we're expressing it to people. And as you well know, we're in a position now, and we're not the only ones in that position. Any company that's selling all natural products cannot legally talk about any kind of an official malady, any kind of a disease or a disease process. So we don't do that. And I have really found, since we were put under those restrictions, for it to be easier to represent, because I think I was making people very skeptical back in those days when I did. And now I don't. I even tell them, I said, we don't talk about disease and disease processes. And it's almost like they appreciate it, because there are other people out there that are misleading by doing that kind of thing. So at any rate, that's the background. I had a degree in biology and chemistry. I was in business. I was pretty involved in life. I was pretty involved in work. And I had such a fantastic result with the product. And I can tell you that now, 26 years later, I have people that I run into at high school reunions and things like that. And I look so much younger than they do. I act so much younger than they do. At my 50-year high school reunion, I sang a 10-song medley of songs that were at the top of the charts when I graduated in 1964. And I did a whole bunch of that. I did a dance routine where I showed people. There were all kinds of people there that were at the 50-year high school reunion that were using walkers or using canes. And the dance floor was not all that occupied. And I still had incredible vibrance, and I'm still that way. People just can't believe, and they had no idea. They don't believe it when I tell them that I went through a time frame 27 years ago that I didn't have good health and I didn't have that energy. So that's one of the things that have really changed people's lives. I have changed my life dramatically. I tell people all the time, if all this product did was make my life as healthier as that it is and has been for all of these years, that would be adequate. But we've added to that our purpose with the M5M program, and we've added to that with entrepreneurialism and the entrepreneurial spirit that allows the people that want to represent a product, and not all of us do. Only about 5% of us want to represent anything. I frequently wonder how in the world people even got married, because they don't want to represent anything to anybody. I think that's okay. I'm really not making fun of them. I think that we just need to understand that. I'm really glad that we're involved in this strong customer acquisition program now, because I think that fits most of the people that we're talking to. For many, many years, I would check every once in a while on how many people were in the computer that had never represented our product to anybody. They were in the computer as sales associates, but they had never represented the product to a single person. And I think it was something like 16-1 the last time I checked. For every person that has represented the product, there are 16 that have never represented the product. That tells me two things. That tells me people are taking the product because they like the products. They didn't because of the business only. And it tells me that most people do not want to sell our products, even though they know they're very good. So those of us that like to represent, we're a minority, and we need to understand that. And I like now the whole attitude of us just working on getting customers first and letting them stay customers and not hounding them to change from a customer to a sales associate. We're letting them decide that with more and more history with the product, letting them decide, hey, I want to recommend this product to somebody. Would you help me? I think that's a much better process of doing it. That kind of takes me into something else you wanted me to talk about. You wanted me to talk about the vision and mission. And recently, Manatech has changed. We went through a long process of determining a better statement for our vision and mission. And so our current vision is empowering all to live their best lives. That's fantastic. Empowering all to live their best lives. And our new mission statement is the enrichment of lives by developing health solutions, wellness solutions, and fostering an entrepreneurial spirit. And it's the wellness solutions first, and then from the people that experience the wellness solutions, those that want to represent our product and want to become entrepreneurs, we want to give them the best vehicle for learning how to be an entrepreneur, how to successfully represent our product, how to build a part-time income, or if they wish, in a full-time income. And you mentioned earlier that I talked about the residual nature of our business. The Get a Grip stands for a growing residual income potential. And the reason why it's a growing residual income potential is because everybody isn't interested in developing that growing residual income. It's a potential. But I love that Get a Grip, because it's not just grabbing a hold of your life, getting a grip of your life. It's a growing residual income potential. I think some of you know that I had a particular problem with my intestines in 2019, and I did not work the whole year of 2019. I was in the hospital several times. I was very lethargic. I had to have multiple operations. It wasn't a nutritional deficiency. It was a genetic deficiency that manifested itself 2 years ago. My income didn't go down 1 cent. I didn't work at all that whole year. And I had developed the kind of income that stuck. And in fact, my income went up during the course of that year. My wife suggested that maybe I work less and it would help the income go up. I very much like working, so I didn't do that. Can I go on with some of the things you suggested, Sharon? I really liked your suggestions for the call.
That'd be fantastic, because I know one of the things that was important to me, I can identify with I was a critical care nurse, so I was very skeptical when I was first introduced. But the thing that's got me from the beginning and maintains in my heart is our ethics and values that are the very foundation of who we are, not only with our quality assurance, our technology, but in exactly how you're talking and getting better and better at serving the people we meet.
We're different than a lot of people in our industry, where we don't like to grandstand. We don't like to exaggerate. We never lie. We're very opposed to people being unethical in any fashion. What we want more than anything is for us to learn how to be the best people that we can be. So developing that best life also includes having wholesomeness, having values in your conduct, never doing anything that will hurt anyone else, trying your best not to be offensive to people, to be inclusive with everyone, to be kind and loving and all those kind of things. So we do believe in values, and we have attracted those kind of people. The people that go to the AIM meeting next week, or any people that are on this Zoom call, and you get to know people, you realize that that's the kind of people that have been attracted to Manatech. People that are not ethical, are purged, or frequently they purge themselves. They're just not uncomfortable being around a bunch of people that want to be honest and good. And we've got something that we say a lot, that we like people that do the right thing when no one else is looking. You're always doing the right thing, whether you're being looked at or not. So values are very important. Ethics are very important. Being scientific is very important. Being validated is very important. We've been known for a long time in this business to be the most scientific company. We have well over 100 patents now, and other people don't even pursue patents. Other companies do not have a state-of-the-art laboratory like we do. So now, ethics is very important to us. Value is very important to us.
Fantastic. And that's been the same with the quality assurance, and the commitment. We can really state that our technology is unique and different and higher quality than especially our glycan technology. Would you agree, Ray?
Absolutely. I mean, when you patent yourself and you put yourself to a standard where exactly what you say is in the container every time is exactly what's in it. A few years ago, there was a big hubbub in the US, and then it went to other countries about how many people said that things were in their product and they were inaccurate. And we have had an entity that checks our products on a regular basis, and we put that certification on our containers because we do not want to be the least bit in error about exactly what we say in our product is in our product. Also, other companies tend to give scientific reports that other companies did, other people did, and that's not directly related to their product. What we like to do is research that's on exactly our product. And when you go on our manatechscience.org site, anything that you read there has been tested on our product exactly, not somebody else's ingredient, not somebody else's scientific work. It's specifically our work or something that's contracted by other people on our products exactly.
Fantastic. And that's,
since I'm bringing that up, I'm going to talk about one thing that I think everybody should know about. There are 6 separate universities that have done studies on our product that prove that we improve cognitive capability. 6 separate universities. And all those studies are on that scientific site. And there's a study about our antioxidant that shows that our antioxidant is much more valuable than consuming many, many, many more servings of vegetables than you can even get down during the course of a day by just taking a couple of our pills. That study on our antioxidant, I think, is just dramatic. And incidentally, the #1 nutritional supplement sold in the world is antioxidants. And we have by far the best antioxidants. So if you're talking to anybody out there, the likelihood of them buying an antioxidant already is pretty strong. And the study that we have on our antioxidant is dramatic. That should be something that's in your tools.
No, yeah, our AO is amazing. And so what's happening in the world right now, Ray? Because I'm talking about, why somebody would want to believe us and partner with Manatech, whether it's for wellness, business, or purpose. What's happening in the world that I believe the world needs us more than ever, even,
we have been told by our government not to stress the current world situation as it relates to our products. So I'm going to be very conservative in what I tell you. When we ended up shutting down the world a year and a half ago, our sales went up by 30% immediately. And the reason for that is because a lot of people that have been buying our product over the years knew while they were taking the products how valuable they were, but they had stopped taking them for some reason or another. We didn't contact those people. They contacted us immediately and asked if they could start ordering again. So the reason why they went up wasn't because our sales force started talking to more people. It was because people that had been in our customer base prior started ordering again. And those sales held up. We have had sales hold up extremely well. And it's because we are beneficial to the immune system. I don't know of anything that I would consider that's much more important today in the world than having a very good immune system. And our products, we can say that. We can say that our products are very beneficial to the immune system. We have validated that from a number of things that are on that Manatech Science site. So that's a big value. When I'm talking to anyone today, I'll ask them, I said, how important is your immune system to you? I said, whoa, man, I had no idea how important the immune system was to me until recently. And it's very important. And I said, so do you think that a better diet would lead to better nutrition, would lead to better health, would lead to better immune system? And he said, oh, yes, I know that, but there's an awful lot of things. I mean, we have heard of late how involved zinc is to our health. We've heard how involved, a number of different things are that are nutritional things that we've been in the business of representing for a long time. And what we do for the body's communication capabilities because of those sugars that are on the outside of every cell, the glycans, is absolutely amazing. When somebody starts studying glycans in any fashion now, pretty soon they realize that somebody that's got many, many patents from all over the world on those glycans really has something. So we really have something of value. And if you're involved in Manatech, like I have been for many years, like you have been for many years, like Gary's been for many years, like Diana's been for many years, like many of the people that are on this call have been. I think that James Hannon's on the call. I think the Force are on the call. I think Lowell and Shirley Thomas from the US are on the call right now. We've been involved for a long time. We feel an obligation to tell other people because we've witnessed so many people improve their health. We've witnessed people that were so worried about their capability to get up with the right attitude in the mornings and go face the day, to have enough energy, was in a horrible state. And then they started consuming our better nutrition from a number of different products and had a resurgence, if you will. I mean, I've had people be so excited about how their health has changed in 3 or 4 months that they just can't keep it to themselves. And I can't keep to myself. I must tell people about something that has changed my life so dramatically health-wise. Like I said, if that was the only thing that it did for me, I would still have to tell people. If I see a fantastic movie that is very inspiring, I tell people, whether I'm compensated for that or not. I tell all kinds of people about it. I want them to have that same experience that I did. I'm watching a series on Netflix right now that I have told so many people about because it's such an uplifting story about a family that lives on a ranch in Montana and how wholesome they are. I just love watching that Netflix, and I tell other people about that Netflix. Well, I feel the same thing about Manatech. I must tell people. And I think that's my why. My why primarily is how much it gives people a better level of health. And there's no way that anybody that's ever taken our product for several months or more doesn't realize that something has improved with their health. I like to start people on things that are very tangible. I like to start them on things like the impact product, because the impact product, you take the impact product every morning, you're going to have a different level of energy immediately. If you have any kind of a sunburn or a sting or something like that, and you put Imprazone on it, it's amazing how you can see the redness go away right in front of your eyes and watch and feel the soreness go away. So I love those real tangible products. I like our Glyco Cafe because it's a very pleasant tasting coffee. And I can talk about the fact that it isn't just a coffee that tastes good, it has health benefits. It helps your whole body start communicating better with itself. So whatever products I choose to represent to people in the beginning, I like to at least pick one product that I know has a very tangible result. Because if people see immediately that our product works for something, they realize that all of those patents that we have, over 100 patents, is meaningful. We have those patents because we have products that work. So that's one of the things I think is really important, is knowing what your why is. What are you trying to accomplish with this business? And why are you doing that? And there's so many whys. So many people get involved with our program because they love how much it helps their health and they want to help others. Some people want to get involved with the business because they don't see their way out of debt unless they do something. There's people that would like very much to tell their current boss to take a hike. They would like to develop a full-time income that would allow them to do that. There's people that know that they're going to have more money down the road for their kids to go to college. So they do it for a college fund. There's so many different reasons, but I especially tell people in the beginning to know what you're trying to accomplish with this, whether it's just the product or the product and the business, and what your why is. I have a lot of people that their why, and they're just consumers, they're just customers. Their why is because every time they buy product, they know that a donation is given to a kid somewhere in the world in an orphanage that will give them better nutrition and will give them a better shot at having a better attitude, about learning better, about behaving better, about not being sick as much. And I love, every time I take my Manitech products, I think about, well, I just gave some kid a month's worth of product because I'm consuming these products every day somewhere in the world. I love that. So that is the purpose for a lot of people. I think it's my daughter-in-law Demra's number one reason for developing this business. She loves seeing the M5M program get more and more and more product all the time for kids all over the world. And every time she gets a chance, she goes to some of those orphanages and works with those kids a couple of days. She and her husband, for something like 14 years, went to a particular Central American country every year and worked for a week with kids that were in an orphanage and helping a particular village and a particular church. And now they've got so much turmoil there that they can't do that. But she feels like she's doing that kind of mission work with the Manitech program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just you can't get better than that, can you? That feeling of helping those kids.
You can. I think,
even if someone was listening today or down the track when they're wanting to choose, evaluate Manitech, if we only did that, it would be worth everything. Like if people just switch their multi from wherever they're getting it or their antioxidant to Manitech and realize, even if they don't love us as much as us cheerleaders do with all the longevity, it's just such a good thing to do for the world.
It certainly is. And I like to tell people that feel like their multivitamin or their antioxidant is just as good as ours. And of course, that isn't the case. But if they want to continue believing that, I'd say, well, you even want to make yours work better? Improve your communication on the outside of your cells, and those vitamins and minerals and those antioxidants and those fatty acids will be able to make it into the cell so much better. Please learn about glycans, because I've got a product that'll even make the product that you love so much work better. And I've had many people get involved because they wanted to keep taking their product from another company, but I told them that I would make their product work better, and they wanted to see if that really happened, and it did.
If your cells are talking, all kinds of good things can happen, isn't it, Ray?
Exactly.
And so, Ray, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, with the longevity of everything you've seen, like you're the father or grandfather of all of us who partner with Manitech for whatever reason. What have you seen? How have you seen it impact people's lives? Tell us some stories about people.
Well, I've seen so many people's lives changed for the better. I have a real good friend named JC Spencer in Houston, Texas, and I introduced him to the girl that he married. And I called him very near the beginning of Manatech. In fact, it wasn't even called Manatech then. Its name was Emprise. And we had that name for our first year, and then found out a savings and loan in Kansas owned the rights to that name. So we went through a long research and became Manatech. But when I introduced him to Manatech, he told me that he and his wife were considering a divorce, and that they just could not get along with each other. You know, they tried. They were real strong churchgoers. They didn't like the fact that they were splitting up, but they just could not get along. But I knew that my product Plus was extremely good for helping people's attitudes. It made people be nicer to each other. And I told him that, and he didn't believe it at all. And I said, well, take it. He said, well, how do I get Karen to take it? I said, smash it up and put it in her oatmeal or whatever. And he did that. It saved that marriage. It saved their marriage. And he didn't, when they started getting along with each other because they were taking an appropriate nutrition that made their attitude better, he decided to start working the business, but he did not want her to know that. So he was working in the business clandestinely. And I remember when he called me and said, Ray, my income's up over $1,000 a month. I'm going to have to tell her what I'm doing. She's going to know that I've got extra money all the time. And he said, I want you to come down and break the news to her with me. And I said, okay, I'll go down. Well, I wasn't able to get down there right away. And by the time I got down there, his check had gotten up to $2,000 a month. And she had already figured it out, or was wondering why in the world he never needed cash from her anymore and stuff like that. And I had so much fun going over that. And within another couple of months, he called and said, Ray, I've made it over $4,000 a month now. I know that I can do this full time, and I want to start working my way away from what I'm doing. I can tell you so many stories like that. I mean, the precedent has obviously already been set. It's not that I'm saying that people have developed great incomes. People have. It's already happened over a 26-year career. I think that our numbers are well over 300 people now that have made over $1 million in the company. So, you know, people have made full-time incomes. Now, that doesn't mean everybody will. For everybody that's making a full-time income, there are many, many, many people that are satisfied with a part-time income. And that's fine too. And they're successful at that. That's what they were looking for. You know, I know many people that what they really want is much better health, but they want to make that much better health receiving a check that exceeds what they're paying for that much better health. So if they're buying a couple of $100s worth of product per month, they would like to have recommended the product to enough people that they're making a check from Manatech that will cover that expense. And that's enough for them. And I think that's just fine. So the longevity has already been proven for itself. And that, like I say, the precedent has already been set. You know, there are people in every country that are doing fantastic with the business, and people in every country that are just happy as can be with their part-time incomes. One of my favorite stories is a hairdresser in London that was making a part-time income when she was sent home from her salon and wasn't allowed to go back. And she decided, well, this is something I can do with my phone and my computer. So I'm going to see if I can't get the people that are already buying product from me to recommend it to other people, and I will help them. So she didn't work on bringing new people into her business. She worked in people that were already buying from her, bringing in new people, and she would help them. She would do a three-way. And in no time at all, she knew that she could support herself for the rest of her life with her Manatech business. And she's developing a business now to exceed the income that she was making before, and she doesn't intend to ever be a hairdresser again. And I just love that story. Look at how many people are making incomes at home that don't have to leave home. Now, that's pretty fantastic that you can. I'm the kind that likes to get face to face with people. And it's really bugged me to not be able to hug people a lot and be able to get real close to people. I love people. I love just chit-chatting with them. And I've had to feel good about just talking to people. And I've developed a new mission in my life now. I've identified people that I know, that I have known for a long time, that are homebound and were homebound long before any of this happened with some kind of a health challenge. And not that I'm trying to deal with the health challenge, because in many cases I cannot, but I am helping them feel better about themselves. And I'm giving them someone that loves them to talk to on a regular basis. And I'm up to 6 people now, and I think it's just going to keep growing of people that I talk to on a regular basis because I'm doing it for their psyche. And I have found out that it does an awful lot for my psyche too. It makes me feel a whole lot better about myself to take the time to make somebody feel better about themselves that wasn't able to relate to people.
Absolutely, right? Nothing more profound than that right now. I tell you, it's crazy times.
Yes, it is. It's crazy times, but we're coming back. We're making a comeback. Texas is doing real well. I pray that Texas keeps doing real well. But my wife and I are eating out again. And this last week, we were even able to start eating out by going into we went into a restaurant for lunch today, and they had a sign on the door that said face mask optional.
No.
And we put both of our face masks back in our pockets and walked into the restaurant without them. So
yeah, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
So Ray, I know we could go for hours, and I'm sure we could all sit around for hours listening to your wisdom. But we're in the middle of an incentive, which is one of the things about our business that's unique. You don't get a regular mortar and brick business or job out there the way they give you incentives to give you goalposts to achieve to. And so there'll be, people listening to you now or down the track will be out there talking to people, making a difference in people's lives for all those ways. How do you recommend people reach out to people to introduce Manatech? You're just such a master conversation builder.
Before I even tell you some of those things, I want to tell you that we have all kinds of compensation for different levels and things like that. And people don't realize that the incentive trips are incenting you to go on a trip, but they're also incenting you to make your business bigger. I have had people in my life that have won an incentive with no intentions of developing a higher income. That wasn't their goal. And they introduced people to Manatech that kept purchasing and then also wanted to go on the incentive trips and also wanted to develop an income. And in no time at all, they were developing an income that they were not expecting. So the incentive trips just aren't for getting you to go on those trips. They're for getting you to have a business that's at a higher level. And I'm going to tell you some things that I think you can do to help win those incentives. And I'm going to tell you that it's also the same thing you want to recommend to a brand new person. Mm-hmm. I think that all of us that are trying to win an incentive trip should go back to some of the things that we did when we were brand new and repeat those. So I'm going to tell you things to do that I think are for a new person, and they're also for a person that's been involved with us for a long time. But if they'll re-implement those, they'll find out that they'll end up winning the incentive trip. Here's the first thing. Redefine what you're trying to accomplish and redefine your why. Spend some time saying, okay, I want to go to New Zealand. I want to do certain things there. I've been there before. I haven't been there before. I want to experience the wonders of that spectacular place. So you get the what and why solid, but add to that what and why that you're going to make your business better. You're going to go to another level with your business because of winning the incentive trip. And if you're brand new, you're just going to be launching the business. So First thing you want to do is redefine your what and why. And then you may want to make a list of 4 people that you have not represented Manitech to yet that you think are into wellness, that are very interested in wellness. You're gonna present to them this program just to be customers. You're gonna assume that they're just gonna be customers, and you're gonna present them with whatever product line you and your upline decide that you want to represent to people. Remember, include the tangible, if you will. Have something that's at the right price point. Don't just say, I'm going to try to represent Manitech. Decide what products you want to know about and that you want to represent to those 4 people that you think are just interested in wellness. Now, remember, I've seen many people that came in just interested in wellness that became associates. I've seen many people that people thought were going to be associates that end up being customers and never did anything but be a customer. But I also want you to make a list of 4 that you think need extra income, but also could benefit, like most people will, from better wellness, better health. Now, I tell people that if you have these 4 people in place, if you get those 4 people involved, 4 new associates and 4 new customers, and then you teach the same thing to other people, you will build a business. Or you'll build a business from where you're right now that'll be at a whole nother level. So if you're already an executive director or a silver or whatever, and you say, okay, I'm going to act like I'm starting anew, and I'm going to make a list of 4 potential customers, 4 potential associates. And when you get those in place, and you might not get those 4, you might not get the people on the list, but you'll get some, and it will lead you to add to the list. That can be your building block forever. If in your whole career with Manitech, all you ever get is 4 associates and get 4 customers, if you do the next step, that's all you ever have to get. You want to teach the same thing to those 4 associates. Those 4 associates need to also get 4 customers and 4 associates. What you're looking for is to take yourself into the team program. The team program that I talked about earlier, where several people have done real good, they've gotten up to the team 6 level. Team 2 level is when you have 2 associates that each have 4 customers, and you have 4 customers. So the 3 of you associates, you and 2 associates, each have 4 customers, then you're a team 2. And in Australia, a team 2 person earns an extra $125 per month. Then when you get up to team 4, it's an extra 315 Australian dollars per month. When you get up to team 6, it's an extra $565 per month. Now that's the extra money. You also have the business income that you're making besides that. And it goes much higher than that. But just to know that getting up to team 2 and team 4, I think if all you ever get up to is team 2 and team 4 and teach everybody else, get to team 4, 2 and team 4, you will win the New Zealand incentive trip. And you will develop an income that is another level from where you're at right now, or will be enough to make you want to continue doing this business if you're brand new. Now, don't expect everybody to say yes to you. I said that earlier. You're going to have people that don't. There's nothing out there that everybody just accepts. Many people are skeptical. Many people you have to follow up on. But it's pretty obvious that there are many people already in Australia that have a team 2. There's many of them that already have a team 4. There's many of them that already have a team 6. There's 3 new people that just hit the 6 or higher level in Australia in April. So the precedent is definitely there. So that's how you win the incentive in my estimation. Now there's some things that you can add to that. After you've got the team 2 and the team 4, you can start learning other things. You can learn other tools. You can learn Zoom calls like this, things like the AIM meeting, things like conference calls. You do all those kind of things with your upline. You always make sure that you know who is your support group and work with them. They've already been down the road and they can teach you how to get involved with some of the things. There's some people in your country that are doing an incredible job with social media. They know how to do the group Facebooks, and there's people that are getting multiple leads every week from their social media. That's something that we're just starting to get pretty involved with here in the US. And there's one guy named Ty Tribble that's underneath James Hannon that's doing very good with it in Washington State already. So some of you might want to learn social media and get involved in that. I'm old school. An old schooler has decided I'm going to start getting involved with some social media too. Not so much for me, but I want to be able to be well educated about it so that I can teach other people. I think an awful lot of younger people want to do everything with social media or everything with their phone apps. So it behooves me to learn how to do that so that I can be knowledgeable enough to talk to especially the younger people. And another thing that I wanted to tell everybody is to just do it. Nike's slogan for years has been just do it. I see so many people preparing to do, learning to do, they won't take a step forward. You have to realize that you know enough pretty quickly to start telling people. And then when you don't know something, just say, hey, I don't know that, but I've got some people that I'm working with, that are my partners in this, that can answer that, and start talking to people. Get together with your upline. Your upline can answer questions that you can't. So don't wait, just do it. If you want to be more successful with people, if you want to be more attractive to people, respect everybody. Have a great deal of respect with everybody. Have a unity with everybody. And you'll find out that respect really pays off. And you just have habitual best practices. If you're talking to a person every other month about Nanotech, you're not going to expect very good results. If you make sure that you have a goal of talking to 3 new people and 3 people that are already in your business every day, you get to the end of a day and you've only talked to 4, make sure you spend some time talking to 2 more. Make yourself some goals that you will accomplish, and then make yourself accomplish them and get into habits. I have habits that I do all the time. I always have time. God always gives me enough time to do everything, as long as I have goals to get things done. I think that can help you win the incentive trip. Now, I'm going to recommend 3 books to everybody also. If you've read them before, read them again. I'm not necessarily recommending that you read all 3, but read at least 1 in the course of the next few months. I think that Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich is always a good book to read in our business for inspiring you and for foundational thought. I think Eric Worre's GoPro is excellent to give you an attitude that our profession is a profession. It is professional, and don't ever look down on our profession. Our profession is very valuable. And of course, I think a whole lot of my book, Get a Grip. I think Get a Grip really does tell you how to get a grip. I think that covered everything that I wrote down in my notes.
And Ray, if people are wanting to get a hold of your book, Get a Grip, how can they do that?
It's available on Amazon. Amazon has it.
Amazon's pretty quick to Australia these days.
Amazon's what to Australia?
Very quick.
That's what I thought. It is all over the world. Every country that they're in, they're excellent.
Yeah, they've got that distribution down pat, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's amazing how.
And so Ray,
really well.
Yeah, they do. And Ray, what would you leave people today? What's in your heart to leave the people of Australasia that are striving to be the best they can in partnership with Nanotech?
I did not understand that. It was kind of garbled, Sharon.
Okay. I just wondering just want to see what you want to leave people with. What's in your heart for people that want the best they can be?
What's in my heart? I tell you that I have such a belief in Manitowoc, 26 plus year old company now that has shown that it lasted through anything, and that we have a fantastic product line that we validated. I love the fact that our commissions have been sent out on a regular basis for our whole history with no kind of hiccups, that so many people have found success with the entrepreneurial part, and even more importantly, have found great results with the wellness capabilities of our products. So I think that if you just get it into your heart that you're going to do this and you're going to be successful with it, I think attitude is 95% of everything. I think if you think that you can do this, you can. And if you think you can't, you're going to be right. You just have to think you can and know that the precedent has already been set. Too many people from all walks of life have made great successes of their lives, health-wise and financial-wise, by just applying themselves and believing in themselves. And I think it's good to find an upline that believes in you. I've had many, many people that I have mentored into being successful that they didn't believe they would be successful, but I knew that they would. And I had to just keep telling them, you just have to keep putting a foot forward. You're going to have your foot stomped on occasionally. You're not always going to go forward. Sometimes you have to take 2 steps backward in order to take 3 forward. It's just part of life. But, if you'll stick with it, I mean, look at the people that have stuck with it. The people that stick with it have a level of success. So I think when I'm asked what's in my heart about Manitowoc, I can say boldly to anyone, this has been a great success story for many, many people. Let it be a success story for you, and it can be. Get a grip.
Well said, Ray. What an awesome hour to have spent with you. Thank you so very much. I've enjoyed every second of it. It's been great.
I really appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you, Diana, and thank you, Gary, as well. And thank you, everybody that's on the call. And I hope all of you have a great time at the AIM meeting next week.
We will. And so that's a good point. So everybody, next week, we're not here with Jenny Messenger and crew at the AIM meeting virtual. And then the following week, I need all of you to stand up. Who's going to come and do the recap of AIM for those that haven't been able to attend live? So we need you all. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here, whether you're live or later down the track. And Ray Robbins, God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you.
Bye, everybody. Have a great Saturday.
Bye.
Bye.